Oh, are you coaching high rocks athletes now as well, Tim?
All right, we do everything, mate. We do everything. We're a one-stop shop for excellence.
You're listening to 515, the Ultra Podcast, the show that invites you into the lives of people who make up the Ultra family. Here's your host for these conversations, Larry Ryan.
Hey, thanks, MJ. Today we present the 2026 Australia race preview before the big live stream event next weekend. Listen in and get to know all of the participants and their background. And if you are currently on your way to Noosa, when you're there, soak it all in and enjoy. If you clicked on the show today because you know someone competing this year in Noosa and you're new to the show, thanks for joining us. If you like the conversation, even if you don't, look into our archives of some of the conversations we've had on this show with athletes and race directors and Ohana members of all stripes. The stories told here come from some of the most interesting places and people. If you like what you hear, please press follow and recommend the pod to a friend. On the show today, we are diving into the 2026 Australia race that will be happening on May the 9th to the 11th in Noosa. However, on my side of the world in North America, it's happening May 8th to the 10th. Which is an important distinction, as I will be doing my second full event live stream of the race from my global broadcasting headquarters here in Vancouver, Canada. I've posted a custom time zone converter on my social pages so that you know exactly when to tune in from wherever you are. And make sure to follow when you are there. Additionally, clicking notify me on the 515 YouTube live schedule is the best way to get a ping the second we go live for stage 1. Please note that each day is broken into 2 parts to keep the files a little smaller and the quality higher. Hit the subscribe button while you're on the YouTube page. All right, I have 2 guests to help me to introduce the 2026 field of athletes to you. First up is the man orchestrating this entire 515 machine, joining us from Brisbane, race director Jeff Morris. Hello, Jeff.
Hello. Yes, indeed. This is my circus and they will be my monkeys out there.
Well, as we're recording this, we're just a couple of weeks out from the event. I assume at this point that you are basically working at least 2 full-time jobs right now.
Yeah, that's about right. It doesn't stop at this end of the race prep, which is good. It's exciting. I'm a week away from heading to Noosa myself, so wrap up a few loose ends in my day job and, then get down to Noosa and kick things off with the dream team all flying in from around the country from Tuesday, which we will have been in Noosa for a couple of days by the time the pod drops. And we look forward to it. Our team gets excited. Our WhatsApp chat is ramping up massively at this point in time, which I know is the same for all the athletes. It's just very real and exciting, and everything comes to a crescendo down there in Noosa, and then you snap your fingers and it's the awards at Peppers. It's crazy how fast it all just goes past. So
yeah, it just blows by, and you barely have a moment to yourself to think, and then it's all going down at the awards. It's great. It's the way it should be.
Well, it is, and to toot your horn a bit, having that live stream to look back on. I know the 2025 live stream I've gone back over a number of times just to see little things that I know happen or what was doing at this point. Look at some of the award stuff, and again from me and everyone around the world that gets to see that. We thank you for the time you put into it. It's game changing for 515 worldwide because so many people love this thing, but travel's hard, it's expensive, but people can be right there and see it. So, we're excited that we're going around again with you for 36 plus hours and appreciate the effort that you put in, because you put in as much or more time as the Australian dream team. You're the sole Canadian dream team across the weekend. But we know that you're up probably for longer because you've got to kind of live your life and also live a life in an Australian time zone. So yeah, appreciate that, mate.
Yeah, well, thanks. I certainly enjoy doing it, and it's my pleasure to do that. And it's going to be even better this year. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, I want to introduce our second guest today. Joining us to break down the course is a man who literally knows how to go the distance. He's one of 8 people to run around the world. He's an athlete alum, a coach, and the voice of the event. Welcome to the podcast, Tim Franklin.
It's good to be here, Larry and Jeff, and everyone watching. I can't believe another year has rolled around already. Feels like we were just backing up from 2025, and here we are again, 2 weeks away.
Yeah. And you haven't even landed on the continent yet. Tell us about where you are.
So I'm currently sitting in a little town called Cripple Creek in Colorado, over in the US. So I'm actually closer to you than I am to the Noosa start line.
Yeah.
And I'll be heading
Fun fact,
home.
that town's named after Tim's running style.
Okay, it didn't take long. It started. Let's go.
No, it didn't take long. The bullying started already. And yeah, I'll be landing in Australia race week and straight up to Noosa and away we go. Looking forward to it. Meeting all the athletes. The returning athletes is always fun, and the new athletes is adding more people to what we call our 515 family. Our family is always pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And you do some coaching on the side as well. Do you have any of the athletes in the field coming up? Yeah,
I do. I'm the full-time coach, and I do this other stuff on the side.
Oh, sorry.
I think is that. Yeah, I do. I'm lucky to have 3 athletes towing the start line this year. I've trained them nice and hard. No doubt there's been times where they've disliked me, but they've put in the work, and they'll reap the benefit over the weekend.
Yeah. And do you want to just get a little shout out to your coaching company?
Yes, so I can. Yeah, I can do. So Crowe Sports Coaching, all things endurance, triathlon, and running. And I have been, lucky enough to have been a coach for, on a full-time basis for over 10 years now. So if anyone wants to reach out, I'll take the time to give myself a plug. Reach out.
Yeah, you're currently taking athletes?
Always up for a conversation with an athlete that wants to take their athletic ability to the next level, whether they're just getting into the sport or they've been in the sport for a long time. We have had some great results as a COA team. We've got some global athletes, and we'll be taking a lot of athletes up to Cairns as well, not long after
Right. And with COA, do you guys work as a team? Does someone come in and do they get more than you? Do they get the rest of the team, or do they just get you?
We have individual coaches, but because there's 5 of us, we get together very regularly. We all live pretty much southeast Queensland. So we get together a lot and bounce ideas off each other. So it is minds coming together, but an individual contact point for the athlete.
Okay. Well, Jeff, before we get too far into this Australia information, I do want to talk about last year when on our live stream we broke the news of expansion into New Zealand. And like you don't have enough on your plate, you decided to take on organizing a second race. Can you give us an update on how that race is coming together, where it's going to be, and can athletes still get into that inaugural event?
Yeah, look, in hindsight, wasn't my smartest move to get a bit excited at the awards and announce that. It's been pretty full on. It was certainly deep in the planning, but probably wasn't close enough for me to get excited and announce it. So it's been some thrashing behind the scenes, just getting everything sorted. People would have seen that Tiff and I from the Dream Team went across to Wanaka in December just to lock down some of the final details. But yeah, between the real job, getting Australia going and having New Zealand bubble along in the background has been interesting. The website is nearly ready to launch, so might be race week. We'll launch that New Zealand website, which will be good. People have been asking for a bit more detail about it. The detail is on the socials and things, but no, there's no single point of truth for that at the moment. But the reality is it's happening in Wanaka at the end of the year in December. I keep getting, there's too many numbers around the same. I think it's 10 to 12 or 12 to 14 December, whatever the Saturday, Sunday, Monday is around that time.
Yeah.
We've locked in all those courses, so it will be a swim in Lake Wanaka, a lap swim so people can warm themselves up every couple of kilometres if needed. And then we're doing a beautiful ride around a loop ride round to Cromwell, up the Crown Range and through Cardrona, back into Wanaka, just some iconic New Zealand locations getting touched on that day. Then day two, we're heading up the Haas and back to knock off the 276, and then a first for us. So we're doing a trail run for the 84K double marathon on day three. So again, we're taking you on some trails that people literally travel from around the world to mountain bike and run on. Glendew Bay, Albert River, Luggett, just again some iconic names and locations in New Zealand South Island, and we're super excited. We do have 55 people on the start list. There's only a couple of people on that wait list at the moment, so you're welcome to jump on to, it's the ultramanOz.com website, where there's a form to register your interest for New Zealand. So welcome for people to jump on and register their interest for New Zealand. Again, we're, what are we, 7 months out from that? We do know that unfortunately people's circumstance change, injuries do happen. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you think you're, maybe you're taking on Ironman Cairns and you're in that good level of fitness, or another Ironman around the world, drop us a line. It's going to be very, very cosmopolitan, that race in New Zealand. I think it's about an even split of Australians and New Zealanders, but that only makes up about, off the top of my head, about 35 to 40 athletes. We've got a good 15 to 20 from around the world. Number of international people that have done other Ultraman events, done Australia, that we're looking for a new location. So pretty excited. I know we've got a couple of European people coming across, some special people coming from the US to take it on. And it's going to be not a reunion of such, but a bit of a linking up of people across the world. People will know the name Jen McVeigh. Jen McVeigh is going to come and be on the Dream Team. So the very first New Zealand Dream Team is going to involve people like Jen McVeigh.
Very hard worker.
Working at final details. Yep. And knows the game and loves what 515 is about. Yeah. Look, Alex from Brazil is hopeful that he's going to come across.
Oh, that'd be great.
So, yeah, just making these links from all the way around the world and reminding ourselves of this amazing thing we're involved in. So, yeah, New Zealand, it's coming quick and fast. And to all those people that are in it, they've not had heaps of comms from me, so I do apologise for that. But it's happening. It's all there in place, and certainly it'll be full steam ahead once we get over the next couple of weeks with Australia.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. You got to get through the first one to get to the second one.
Yeah. But yes, it is all there. Maps are there, and yeah, it's going to be an absolutely amazing course. So yeah, so looking forward to that.
Excellent. Okay, well let's bring Tim back in here. Timmy, for people that might be joining us for the first time because they're just excited about hearing about Australia, they've got a person who's doing it for the first time. Can you break down what the race entails, the stages and the distances? Because it's pretty insane for people that have never heard it before.
Yeah, can do. So we'll break it right down. So it's a 3-day ultra endurance is what makes up the distance. The first day, we start with a 10-kilometre ocean water swim. So that's at the main beach at Noosa. So if you've ever been to Noosa, or you haven't been lucky enough to be to Noosa, Google Noosa Main Beach and just have a look at the amazing pristine conditions that the athletes will be swimming in. So that will consist of a lapped swim course, and they'll complete the 10 kilometres. Then after that, they'll have the one and only transition of the event, and that will be from the swim to day one bike course. So they swim the 10 kilometres, and then they've got a 145 kilometre out and back bike course, and they head northwest from Noosa up to and just past a town called Kin, and then come back, basically retracing their steps all the way back into town and into Lions Park, which is the finish line for each of the 3 days. That day one bike course is about a 1,500 metre elevation gain. So the athletes have 6 hours to complete the swim, and then 12 hours for the day one in total.
Right.
And then we come to day two, and day two is our big bike day. So day two bike day, and that is 276 kilometres, and it's a loop starting and finishing right in Noosa at the Lions Park again, and that is a loop course through the Sunshine Coast hinterland. It is absolutely one of the best bike courses you could possibly do. It's just honest. If you've trained hard, it'll be a really great day. There's about 2,400 metres of elevation across the day, and the last 40 kilometres is basically coming from the southern end of the Sunshine Coast, and you're riding up along the coastline to finish. It's a remarkable bike ride. Takes in everything. The best part, or one of the best parts about it for the crews, not so much the athletes, is that there is one of the great bakeries at about 180 kilometres into the course. And they have some of the best donuts you'll ever get your hands on. So we will make sure that we give details to everyone about that. The only issue will be to not miss your athlete, because there's a pretty significant turn that they need to make not far from there. So we make sure that the athletes go in the right direction there. So that's day two. So again, they've got 12 hours to complete the course. And then day three is the magic. That is the double marathon. So the 84.4 or 84.39 kilometre run, where they leave again from Noosa and they run the coastline that they rode the day before. So they run south along the coastline, rolling hills, all the way down to a place called Twin Waters, where they make their turnaround and come all the way back again. Like I have been lucky enough to run pretty much around the world, and there is no better run course. It is absolutely beautiful. If the weather's kind to you, it is one of the great days you'll ever have. You're coming in on 2 days of up to 24 hours of exercise, so they're under fatigue, but they've got the elusive finish line at the end, which is again a remarkable finish line where they're coming in along a beach finish, which is just so unique. The last kilometre along Noosa Main Beach, where it's just iconic, one of the most iconic finish lines I've ever been involved in. So again, another 12 hours to finish that, and for some people returning, another ultra finish, I should say, and then for others it'll be the very first time that they've completed a 3-day endurance event. So yeah, I mean, as far as courses go, and I may be somewhat biased, but I have raced and emceed and compared many events around the world, and this would have to be in the on the podium of the best courses that you'll ever get.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, looking at it through the live stream last year, I was amazed with the scenic nature of it, the different areas that you go through. And then all the beach at the end is, yeah, it's a great finish. And watching those people run up the beach with Banat running beside them, getting that all the way to the finish line, it made for a very, very scenic finish for sure. Jeff, when we're talking about the course, I'm assuming this year the course is basically the same, or have you been forced to make any changes? The roads are all open for you?
No, it's exactly the same this year. There's been a couple of little alterations to the run course in the last few years, just for just to be a bit safer and meet some community requirements. But no, it'll be exactly the same as last year. So yeah, nice and easy. The GPX files are there for people. We're putting lots of arrows out. We've had a call from the transport authorities for a little bit more signage. Weirdly, normally they don't want us putting signage out, but they've asked that a couple of higher risk intersections that we put some more signage out. But other than that, it's actually exactly the same course. So yeah. Cut and rinse, repeat for the dream team in getting the athletes out there. And the athletes who've got that are returning won't have anything new to negotiate. Some athletes that have done the race in previous years prior to 25 just going to have to, if they've got their memory bank switched on, athletes like Guy and Denise who've done it previously, but it was a few years ago, just going to have to make sure they follow the newest version of the course, because there's a couple of different little turns. But compared to last year, it's all 100% the same.
Yeah, and on the live stream, we will be. This is what it's going to look like. What you're seeing now, this is our live stream. There'll be updates on the ticker at the bottom with what's going on. We're going to have commentary from past champions and racers. I'm not going to mention them all here because I want to leave some of that as a surprise. But I will say that it does include Simon Cochran in a larger role this year, and the return of Banat as a roaming reporter. So that's going to be a big plus for what we're seeing for sure. And we're going to have crew cams this year as joining the Zoom and going live with them, so that last year we tried to do it where they would record something and send it in. This year, we're just going to ask them to join right in live. We'll have to put up our warning about languages and things like that. But yeah, they're going to be joining live. So it's going to be really exciting that way. And hopefully most of the crews will want to give updates so that the people watching at home for that athlete know exactly where they are and how they're feeling. And we're also going to have live tracking this year. You've introduced this live tracker. I'm sure most people have seen these at races before. Do you want to add anything about that, Jeff?
Yeah, I just think it adds another element. I don't know if you have the ability to click on the webpage. If you click on the 429, Larry, everyone's number pops up, and you're going to have the ability to follow your athlete, follow other athletes, and just see what's going on, even in the swim. So the trackers will work in the swim. So we're literally going to know where everyone is at any point in time, which is great for the dream team. It's great for crews on the ground, but for your coverage, Larry, and everyone watching on YouTube, it's just next level. It's going to be so good out there, knowing exactly what's going on at any point in time.
Yeah. And we'll even be able to have a good update in the swim as to who's leading and where they are.
Yeah, it should work. Let's go there. It depends how good their body position is in the water, but certainly they don't transmit through water. But there should be times when they've got their body position right and their core's nice and firm, and they've got the small of their back out of the water, and it will transmit. So yeah, certainly a lot better than what we've had in the past. And yeah, I think Steve Keller sponsored, was it Arizona one year, I think, had live tracking?
Yes, and Florida.
So, yeah.
Yes.
And Florida, both of them, yeah. So, yeah, with such a big course, it really is a good way. We've traditionally had chip timing with trying to get lots of mats out there, but every time you add a timing mat, it adds costs, whereas this actually, for the size of course we've got, is actually a really financial way to do it, and gives an extra aspect to your coverage and what's happening.
Absolutely, yeah. And we're also hoping to have a camera on the water. We were planning to do that last year, but the Sea-Doo got taken over for some other duties. So hopefully this year we're going to we'll get the actual live out on the water action as well.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Still working on permission for that because they're very nervous about that. So I'm working through approvals for that, but that is the plan. But failing that, we do know that we've got me and you, Larry, we've tested the drone footage. So we're going to have some live drone footage. People are literally going to be able to watch the swim start as if they're in Noosa. They're going to watch that beautiful sunrise from probably 20 or 30 metres above the water, above the start line. They're going to have the best seat in the house. I think it's probably going to be a better seat in the house than even the people standing on the beach. Mm-hmm. But if you're watching that live stream, you're going to be closer to the athletes than almost than their paddler.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fantastic. And again, for people, if you're thinking, oh, this sounds like something I want to be checking in on, go to the 515 YouTube page and click on the notify me links, and it'll make sure to send you a message when we're going live. All right, well, let's get into this year. Jeff, how many competitors are we going to see at the starting line? I know you're just mentioning that you had 55 signing up for New Zealand already, and you had close to that, I'm sure, for this. But as things go, people have lives. How many competitors are we looking at seeing at the starting line right now? How many men, how many women, returnees, newbies? Give us some of those kind of details.
Well, yeah, in typical Jeffrey fashion, I prepared this just as you were talking to Tim because I knew you were going to ask me. So, yeah, we're actually down to 37 starters. We had a full field of 55 entered. A number of things have happened with life. We've had some visa refusals, some people changing jobs that meant they couldn't get there. So we ended up with 37 should be hitting the start line. In Noosa, so 11 females, 20, hang on, I haven't adjusted my numbers there. What we have, 1 and 1. So 10 and 27, 10 females, 27 males in that. So the split's 19 internationals versus 18 Australians. So we've got more international competitors than Australians hitting that start line. So we're going to have 9 athletes from India. As always, they love coming to Australia, and there's a big groundswell of support from the Indians. There's a number of them coming to New Zealand as well. So 9 Indians, 5 Kiwis coming across the ditch to race, 2 athletes from Hong Kong. So both those athletes call Hong Kong home. Marco's actually from Germany and Chloe's from the UK, but they call Hong Kong home. So we could add Germany and England to the mix of those countries. Then we've got Noe coming back from Mexico, female athlete from Malaysia, and a well-known name in the 515 world from USA, Kerry Mandel. So that's our 19 internationals. Of those 37, we've got 12 that have done a 515 race either here or somewhere else in the world before. I've counted a couple of people that didn't quite make it to the finish line, but they have attempted the 515 before. So 12 of those 37. This year we've got Shane Duffy lining up for his 6th UMOs and his 10th overall 515 race. So he will, if he gets to that finish line, he'll equal Kelly Ridges and Dave Carroll as having taken on 6 Australias. So on that note, Kelly was racing this year. Unfortunately, she has succumbed to an injury, but she's still coming to Noosa. She's going to join the dream team. And that's what we know that this is what this race does to people. Kelly, is heartbroken that she can't race, but the FOMO wasn't going to allow her to cancel her Noosa accommodation and travel. So she's still coming up, and she's going to camp with us and take on some of the responsibilities of the dream team. And, it shows what this race is about, that someone does the race 5 times or 6 times, coming here for their 7th, can't race, but just can't bear to miss out on it. So, yeah, she's going to come along and help the dream team. So that's a bit of what's happening at the high level numbers wise for Australia 2026.
Awesome. Well, I think maybe now's the time then to start jumping into each individual athlete and getting to know a little bit more about each of them. So what we'll do is, Jeff, we'll have you introduce the athlete, and then maybe we'll have Tim jump in with a little bit of knowledge that he has of the athlete. If I've had them on the podcast before, I'll throw in a little bit. We'll just have a little chat.
So we're going to do it alphabetically this year. Sometimes we go age group, sometimes we go race number, but it's going to be alphabetical this year. So first cab off the rank is Nicole Allen, one of our Aussie competitors from down in Melbourne. Done a lot of running and have got the kids into adulthood and has now got time for herself to do some more epic things, including Ultraman Australia.
Yeah, an amazing story. If you hear, we'll no doubt hear Nicole's story over the 3 days. But she's got a great story, inspirational story, to be honest. 10-time Ironman finisher, and up there with 32 marathons as well she's run across the years of her endurance career. So her first go at the distance, the 515, but she's spent the last sort of 15 years in endurance sports. So it's great to see her step up. I think once she gets through the swim, she'll be much relieved. Like a lot of our athletes, I think. But she's ready to rock and roll, and just so much experience. So going long for long days. I mean, 12-hour day for her, I think, is going to be short. So she's going to be well equipped to rock and roll across the 3 days. And her partner is her crew chief, so that's always fun to see whether they're still partners on day 4. But she's got a partner and then some mates and training buddies, and her mum and stepdad are going to be her crew as well. So that's pretty cool, to be honest.
Yeah. It's always fun when the family's able to get there and share in the experience. It's not always fun if they are the crew. So sometimes it's your best supporter and they know you so well they can help you get to that finish line. Other times, we've seen some problems when you got the family and the crew. So it's always interesting to see which way it plays out. Who's up next?
So next one we've got is returning athletes. So Sadanand Amarapur from India. So our first Indian athlete we'll talk about. Look, he took on UM here last year. Unfortunately, didn't have the best weekend out, had some issues, particularly with the bike on day 2, and didn't quite get there. So he's coming back. Look, he's got some alumni looking after him again. So Max and his partner Tegan taking on that. So we love seeing our alumni step up and help out. So, and that's a bit of consistency for Sadanand to have Max, because Max helped him out last year. So they know each other well. They've been in communication, and I'm sure they've got a really good plan for 2026 to make sure we get to see Sadanand at Main Beach at that finish line.
Yeah, he's done plenty of racing as well. I mean, I know that he's raced a lot in India. He's done the 70.3 in Goa. He's raced in Kazakhstan as well. And it was probably really unlucky for him last year. He just had some bike technical issues and just couldn't get himself to the cutoff for day 2, and then decided to not start day 3. So we'll see how he goes, because he can ride. I mean, this is a guy that's ridden something like 4,000 kilometres from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. So over 14 days. So the guy knows how to ride a bike. So saving any issues that he has technically, then we can rock and roll. And especially Max and Tegan. Every race I seem to pop up at, I seem to see Max and Tegan there. So they'll be great. They'll be great support for him. Absolutely.
All right. Who's up next there, Jeff?
Next one, another Indian athlete, Prajakta Aswar. Very accomplished doctor from India. She's, wanting to show some of those Indian girls back home that things like Ultraman aren't just for the boys. Has a good resume and told a good story. If you've been on the socials, her stories up on the Facebook page, as are many of these people with their whys and a little bit about themselves. So yeah, again, massive support from her family to be here, and wants to show everyone that she can do it.
Mm-hmm. And she has a pretty good crew chief, I believe.
She does.
Yeah,
She's got the.
He goes all right.
You can speak. Yeah, you can speak to him. Yeah. Our 2024 champion, Anthony Vlodmans. So hopefully he can talk Prajakta through the course, but she's got enough experience. I mean, she's raced all across the world as well. 70.3s in Germany, 70.3s again in Goa in India, plus also the World Championship for 70.3. And she's raced in Australia before. She's completed the Busselton Ironman, which is, another one of our iconic races down under. And she obviously, she's a hard worker. You don't become, a highly respected physician without that. So I've got that. But she's another one with a brother, mother, daughter, son, and husband on the crew. And I like how when they fill out their forms, they put them down, and they've got their crew 1, crew 2, crew 3, and then right down the bottom, she's got other supporter, and that's her husband. So he's done well. Hopefully he'll stay out of the car throughout the 3 days and be the voice of reason come the finish line.
Yeah, they might be on that track of we're going to keep separated, and I'll just be there at the end of the day to give you your meals and stuff like that. But this is not the first time Anthony's crewed, though, either, is it?
No, it's not. And I just love this race for this. Here's a guy that comes out, towels up the course in 2024, wins. The second I put the call out in 2025 for help for international athletes, on the phones, Anthony Vlodmans. In what event can you say that someone who's literally won this thing will go and help anyone? He had no idea. He just put his hand up, said, I want to help someone do this race because it's life-changing. Yeah. So Pony's up in 2025. My apologies, I forget. He supported an Indian athlete in 2025. And then behind the scenes, I didn't even organise this. This was through the connections with the person that he supported last year. Prajakta had said, could she have some help? And by the time I found someone, she's like, actually, don't worry. Anthony Vlodmans has reached out to me, and I've got Anthony's crew captain. I'm just like, this is just magic what this race does in our community. It really is just amazing.
Yeah.
And just really importantly, Anthony is a Crowe sports athlete. I think that's probably worth noting.
Oh, you're coaching High Rocks athletes now as well, Tim?
No, we do everything, mate. We do everything. We're a one-stop shop for excellence.
All right. Next athlete is a returning athlete. Jeff?
Oh, Boris. He just keeps on chipping away, Boris. Can swim a bit. He's a bit of a fish. Can bike, can run. So Boris is someone who's going to be at the Pointy End this year. Cracking guy, comes up every year with Jess, gives it a good crack, keeps telling me he's going to move up to Noosa. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd be surprised if Boris isn't first out of the swim. He's been put some hard yards in there. And yeah, keen to come up and give it another crack. I think this is 4 in a row for Boris. Just loves it. And yeah, I know he's in good shape this year, and he's got a good sponsor on board. If you're a gum chewer, he's got some Peak Energy gum that'll pop up in your athlete bag. All the athletes are going to cop some of Boris's Peak Energy gum. Apparently, it's what makes him swim so fast. So get into that, people.
Yeah, he's 4th last year as well. So with a total time of 24 hours, 55 minutes. So he'll be there and thereabouts this year, and very smart decision. Obviously, one of our Victorian athletes, so he's escaping the colder autumn of Victoria and coming up to the Sunshine Coast, and why not? So, yeah, he'll be one to watch for sure.
Next up, Ashley Bates. So Tim will talk lots about Ash because he is a co athlete as well. But Ash, again, is someone that's been around the race for a long time now. He's supported some Indian athletes as crew chief. Top guy, just an awesome human, as many of the people in our space are. We know what this 515 Ultra World attracts these sorts of people. Lovely guy, and I'll let Tim talk more to Ash because he knows him much deeper than I do.
Yeah, Ash is, like Jeff said, he's one of the good guys. Fun-loving, sort of doesn't take himself too seriously, but also works hard. He's got a highly demanding job with a lot of travel, and a lot of time on the phone at ungodly hours. He calls himself a first-class faffer, which I can attest to as his coach. But what he does do is he gets the job done. He was in Ironman New Zealand earlier this year and managed to do a 40-minute course PB. So he's in reasonable nick. He's not as young as he used to be, so he's into his mid-50s, and one or two niggles that we're dealing with that we always sort of deal with this close to the race when you're just coming off the bulk training into taper. But he's a 7-time Ironman finisher. Another race close to our heart. He's done the Hervey Bay Hundy multiple times. So he loves it. He loves working hard, and he loves trying to test himself and see what he's capable of. So, trail marathons, road marathons, but we'll see. He's ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
Oh, and also his wife, huge supporter, he says, and they actually celebrated their 30th wedding anniversary. Well, today
as we're
North
recording,
America,
yes.
Yesterday in Australia, the day we're recording this. So congratulations. He's got the in-laws. He's got the in-laws as well in the crew. So this could be combustible, or it could be heaps of fun. Who knows?
And we'll just call back. Tim is wearing the best hat in the universe there. For those that don't know, I do have a third event on, a couple of UMs and a race called Hervey Bay 100, which has morphed into the Hundy Festival. So it's almost ultra because it's 2 days of racing. You can do a standard or Olympic distance on the Saturday and then 100K on the Sunday. Proud to say that T100 actually copied that event that my local triathlon club invented in 2011. They've now copied it. So imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. But there's a lot of people from the UM family come up to Hervey Bay in November and take on that and get to see me in a different light. Bit of a different race, that one, when you've got 1,000 people going around instead of 50. But Ash has given it a good crack, and a number of UN people have given that a crack over the last few years.
And you get 1% of every entry fee in T100, is that right?
Yeah, wish. Got to ring Sam about that check. It keeps bouncing.
And the Hundy Festival has a great MC as well.
Oh.
All right, let's move on to the next athlete. That's enough of that.
Right. The next one is another Indian athlete, Rahul Chaudhary. So Rahul was going to try and have a crack last year. He's an airline pilot, so his rosters are contingent on whether he can race, or whether he can race is contingent on his roster. So, he's been keen to get here, and 2026 is the year that he's going to hit the ground in Noosa and give it a crack. Lots of running under his belt. I think anyone that commits to this when they've got a job, that involves flying and how do you work your training around that? I don't know. Do pilots get to take their bike up in the cockpit with them so it can go? I'm not sure. But, it's one of those things. So good on him for making it work with life. And he's got a pretty well-credentialed team captain as well in Vishesh Madan, who's done the race a couple of times. And Vishesh sidebar is ponying up for New Zealand. He's going to go to Wanaka and race New Zealand in December.
Nice.
And Vish is one of the great guys. And it would be interesting to see whether Rahul can fly through the course.
Oh, my God.
That was... You're welcome.
Can you cut that out, please, Larry?
The ratings here.
Not.
the ratings here are going to go through the roof. Cut that. Use that.
That's the
as
ad.
the snippet that you put on the social media. I agree. Yeah, he's Ironman Bustleton, another one of our Ironman Bustleton alum. He's done Ironman California, which is a belter of a race, nice and fast. And then he's also completed a couple of ultra marathons. So he's run the 100-kilometer distance before as well. So he's no stranger to the endurance space. So and with Vish as his crew chief, he'll know the course, which is hugely important. So no, it'll be interesting to see how internationals go, and Rahul being one of them.
Mm-hmm. And I saw in his resume there that he has a plan to hopefully do Mount Everest one day. So he's probably flown over it, and then he can do the climb.
Do the climb.
All right, Jeff. Next
Righto, back to Australia with Doug Clark. So I think if my data's right, Doug's our youngest athlete at 26. He's got a group of sticky mates that have his motivation a little bit for doing this, and has a pretty stout Ironman time. So yeah, let's see if that translates to something bigger. But I think there's going to be some pretty interesting crosses on the live YouTube from his team. They're keen to let the world know how good they are and how good Doug is. So that'll be entertaining. And we're looking forward to having Doug come up and give it a good crack.
Yeah, he's no slouch. The man with two surnames.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but he always says that he's explained to Jeff that he feels like he's the slowest out of his group. But if he's the slowest out of his group, it's one hell of a group that he trains with, because he's 3-peak challenge, which is a great bike race here in Australia, and he's done that in under 9.5 hours. He's done some ocean water swims across the 5-kilometer distance in like an hour 15. 70.3 world champion finisher in 4 hours 30. So he definitely has some pedigree. So I wouldn't be surprised with a time of 10 hours 20 as his fastest Ironman, especially at the age of only 26. I wouldn't be surprised if he's done the work, then he might be right up at the pointy end come late Monday afternoon.
Yeah, and I'm looking at his crew chief here as well. Team captain is his father, also a 10-time Ironman finisher, more than 10 times. So he's got the genetics to go off and pull this out, and the experience in the van to help him out as well. In fact, the whole crew are Ironman finishers, multiple Ironman finishers.
And I think his biggest claim to fame at the moment is that he rolled his old man's PB across the Ironman distance by less than a minute. So that means Dad's got to step back up, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Well, we might have a Wheatley challenge going out here. Maybe next year we'll have Doug and his dad Andrew out on course, challenging each other around the Australia course.
There you go.
Right. Let's do it. Shout out, Andrew. The ball's in your court, my friend.
Righto, on to Jacob Crowe, another young guy, only 30 years old, coming out and giving it a crack. Again, someone that's got a bit of history behind themselves as to why they got into Ironman. We see those stories a lot where people have gone, hang on, I'm heading in the wrong direction. Let's chuck a U-turn, get into a triathlon and want to belt myself some more. So let's see if I can take on 5:15. So, looking forward to Jacob coming up. Again, bit of experience and royalty in the crew side of things with Pete Hodjo from down Port Macquarie way, his coach, and coming up to be his team captain as well. So Hodjo's a tough old dog, and he will not be letting Jacob slow down and take it easy out there, I'm sure.
And plenty of races jammed in the last couple of years as well. So he's definitely race ready. Again, and Busso finisher, 70.3 Melbourne, Ironman World Champs in 2025. So he's come off some hot racing. So he'll be ready to rock and roll on the finish line as well.
All right. Next up, Jeff.
Next up, we're going back to the subcontinent, back to India with Devraj. So Devraj is coming to give it a crack. He's done a couple of Ironmans, as most of athletes done, in Europe, heading over to Sweden and Hamburg. So, again, super committed. And he's got a local alumni, Anthony Lucas, that's going to look after his needs over here. As well as some other friends coming out. So shout out to Anthony from up in Cairns, who loves the 515 stuff. I reckon Anthony's got another race in him just quietly. But for this year, he's going to crew and help someone else achieve their dream at UM.
Yeah, and he's got definitely running pedigree too, because he's two-time finisher of a race called the Hell Race Border, which is a hell of a run. That's 100 kilometres. So come Monday, he might feel a little bit more at home.
Okay.
Righto, we're going to jump across the Tasman for the next one. So Nat Dodd is coming from New Zealand. So one of our faster female athletes. So we've got a bit of a stacked female field this year. It's going to be quite an interesting race for honours to see who takes that one out. That's been out there, a lot of gravel riding, and yeah, she's primed and ready to go. Her video went up for her why and to tell the world about her a little bit. So again, jump onto the socials for UM Australia and see that and learn a little bit about that.
Yeah, and uber consistent across her Ironman racing. She's gone 10:05, 10:13, 10:35. And then another 10:18 at the World Champs. So ultra consistent, which is probably what you need to be at an event that goes for 515 kilometres over 3 days. So she, like Jeff said, I think Nat comes with some expectations. Whether she's got it on herself, we've just put it on her. She will probably look to have herself somewhere up the top end of the female field.
Mm. And
her crew's an interesting one. Oh, sorry, Larry.
Yeah, no, I was going to point to the crew. Yeah.
Yeah. So bit of UM experience there with Craig Jackson from New Zealand. So he's knocked over UM Australia a couple of times. One of my favourite UM stories. Listen to one of Larry's old pods about that. But again, a couple of supporters on her crew that are coming across from New Zealand that are going to race UM New Zealand. So some people that want first-hand experience of what UM racing is about to prepare themselves and kick off for their journey to Wanaka. So, yeah, big Kiwi team there. CJ is a Kiwi, but he now lives in Australia, saw the light and moved across here. So, yeah, but look, another athlete that's having experience on that crew is pretty handy, and she'll have good support out there.
Yeah, and did you find that people that were signing up for New Zealand, they've had people that have done Australia or friends that have done it, or are they coming this year to get into the crews, or how many of them are doing a double? How many are coming to do a preview in Australia in order to do the New Zealand race?
Look, we've actually only got 3 that are doing the double. So, the man that hates missing out on anything, Shane Duffy, is, of course, doing Australia and New Zealand. But the other 2 are 2 New Zealand girls, so Brittany Litton and Anna Longbill, that we haven't got 2 yet. But so Shane, Brittany and Anna are the 3 that are taking on Australia and New Zealand. Don't know, maybe there'll be some that take on Australia and then see if they can score a spot to New Zealand, put an application in when they are looking for that next goal once UM Australia's passed. Don't know. But, yeah, I think there seems to be a lot of names popping up that have either asked about New Zealand or have actually thrown the hat in the ring for New Zealand. So that doesn't surprise me. This thing can be a bit intimidating, and you've got that opportunity to come and crew to actually see it in real time how it plays out. So yeah, that's definitely the game plan for a few people there. I think Roy and Harriet that are on Nat's crew will definitely be taking notes when they're not looking after Nat, I reckon.
Yeah. And perhaps some people will start doing it the other way. They'll go and crew in New Zealand because they want to come over and do Australia, but they want to, see what it's like in the homeland first if they're from New Zealand, and it's a little bit easier trip to get in and check it out.
100%. And again, these races, Australia and New Zealand, they're places you would just go for holiday. So it's not a chore to go and spend a few days in Wanaka or Noosa to ply your trade and learn your trade a little bit. But let's have some fun and see a beautiful part of the world. So, and for us, between Australia and New Zealand, it's a 3-hour flight for the international people. So for us, that's you can fly 3 hours and not be halfway across Australia. So for 3 hours, you can be in a different country if you fly the other direction. So yeah.
Okay.
And I've been lucky enough to run to complete. There's a race called the Southern Lakes Ultra that goes. A lot of that track that we ran in that event is run in this event for UMNZ. So it is unbelievable as well. So if you're umming and ahhing, I would suggest that we email Jeff and get your entry in ASAP.
There you go. Now, Jeff, I know one of the things that you guys do at your race is you give an award to like first responders, people that serve in the military, things like that. And you have a lot of them again this year. And this next athlete coming up is a police officer.
Yeah, so we do have the Ultraman Award that, if you're a frontline responder, in the Defence Forces, paramedics, police officers, you go into that. That stems from Tony Horton's history with the Australian Commandos. We wanted to acknowledge that it's a different thing to be protecting our people. So, yeah, look, we've got a number here. I've got to tell you, in New Zealand, I think we've got like 10 police officers in New Zealand. There's going to be more police around than there was at Ultraman Mexico. I tell you, like it's wild.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it, Tim.
Right. Anyway, yeah, so we've got a 45-year-old female police officer, Tab Draper. So Tab lives in southeast Queensland, so not far from Noosa. I know I follow her on socials, and I think every family holiday for the last year or two has been, shockingly, on the Sunshine Coast, and she always manages to pack her bike. So I think Tab's pretty familiar with the Noosa course now. Look, she's awesome. Has got some history. Is definitely going to be one of these females at the pointy end that I spoke about. Has been putting in some super hard work. We've shared some of her socials with the sessions she's done. So, looking forward to seeing Tab pull it all together in Noosa.
Yeah, she's rock solid over the last little bit. She did the 70.3 Port Macquarie and raced very well then, just over 5 hours. She competed at the World Champs that were held up in Townsville here in Queensland last year, I think, or the year before, 24, I think it was. So she's got ample years of experience, and she's another one with her crew is her entire family. It's her husband and then her 4 kids, along with a friend as well. So that should be fun, and I'm really keen to meet all her kids because they've all got a name that's actually not their name. So she's nicknamed them all. So especially I'm really interested to meet Bango, her youngest child, also known as Angus. But if anyone's called Bango, they've got to be good fun.
Yeah. And she's not just a police officer, she's a crime scene officer. So maybe she can do some work with the CSI Sydney crew there while they're filming and give them some information.
Was that the right sound effect?
No, that was Law and Order.
That was Law and Order, yeah.
Oh, no. I do love that, hubby Matt, who's crew chief, he got to do Ironman first, but I called dibs on Ultraman. So, yeah. So Matt was the first Ironman in the house, but Tab's going to be the first Ultraman in the house. So I like that.
That means there's going to be a second, though.
Yep. They'll flip next year.
That's it. Yeah. So,
right. Next up.
Moving right along, down to D, Roscoe Dray. So Roscoe's coming to give this a crack. Roscoe's got a pretty amazing story. He had a fairly horrendous motorcycle accident, spent a lot of time in ICU. Massive journey, massive recovery that he's been on. It was about 1,000 days since the accident that he then took on Ironman when realistically he wasn't. They always say this. You medically you shouldn't have survived, but he did it and chipped away. So he's put in a lot of effort, and if he gets to that finish line, he's got a story to tell and will be pretty inspirational to a lot of people.
Yeah, I think it opened up a new lease on life, that the accident that he had, because ever since the accident, he's 70.3s and Ironmans, finishing Bustleton. He's done the 2xU series in Melbourne, where he's from. So he comes again with plenty of experience in the triathlon space. Over, I think it's going to be 1,500 days or something since his accident, when he'll be towing the start line at Ultraman. So, yeah, that's a pretty cool story that no doubt will highlight across the 3 days.
We will get right back to the preview in just a moment. I wanted to let you know about some of the upcoming guests so you don't miss out. In our next episode, I will effort to get the Australia champions to come on, as is tradition after the race. In episode 11 this season, we will hear from another of our Beyond 515 guests, Ray Zahab. Ray is a Canadian explorer and ultra-distance runner and the founder of the nonprofit Impossible to Possible. He shares amazing stories of incredible adventures. We also have some Ohana guests lined up. I speak with Ted Lomaika and Scott McDermott in the 2 closing episodes of this season. Remember to follow the podcast wherever you listen, and if you think I deserve it, give me a 5-star review. Those 2 things help to push the podcast toward more listeners. Okay, let's pick up the conversation with a friend and former guest of the podcast as the next athlete who is racing. Let's move on to our next one. Someone that's familiar.
Yeah, so we've got a guy who's 53 years old that lists his occupation as a street sweeper. I'd say amateur comedian.
He got a new job?
He has a new job every year. So
I thought he was the magician.
There's always something stupid in that box when I download the application. So we are talking about Shane Duffy. So talking about someone that's about to take on their 10th Ultraman 515 race, known around the world. Another one of the good guys. This is a bloke that put up with Timmy Franklin running around the world not once but twice. Look, he'd give his shirt off his back to anyone. He's done it all. This will be his 6th race here. He's raced 6 in a year. He's raced after being hit by a car days before the race. Look, I think his aim this year is to be the only person to finish Ultraman having done 0 training sessions. Look, he has been a busy man this year. I know he would have very much liked to have done more training. I think he's done enough, but I don't think there's a lot on his Strava, to be honest.
Yeah, and congratulations to Shane. He's going to be he is a grandpa again.
Yes. Yeah.
So he might be carrying another little one across the finish line, although I don't know if this new little one is coming. In his photo that you see on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, he's carrying the babies across. So, congratulations to Shane and the family on becoming a grandpa again.
Yeah, I think this one will be a little bit too little. It was only 2 days ago, I think.
It was very fresh.
Yeah.
And a ripper, just as you guys have said, just an absolute ripping human being that he literally drove across the night. He was in the US doing one of the Ultraman.
2.
I think it was in
he was
Florida.
Going between Florida and Arizona when he met up with you.
And he drove like 16 hours throughout the night to come and meet me in the middle of nowhere in the US. And then he ran a full day with me. I think we did 63 or 64 Ks that day. And then when I ran through his neck of the woods down in sort of north central coast of New South Wales, he was there to help me as well. So amazing. Yeah, I'm forever grateful for the Duff man, and we'll no doubt see him come across the finish line for the 300th time.
Yeah, and he does hold the Guinness World Record for the most ultra long distance triathlon completed in 12 months, and that's when he did 6 all in 12 months. And that's why he's working so hard now to pay those off.
Yeah, to pay for it all. Well, he's got other people working hard for him to pay for him. So he's also hugely into soccer or football, depending on where in the world you may call it. And has been a big supporter, especially of Australia's female. Not only the Matildas, our national team, but also grassroots as well. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does a lot for a lot of people. So ripping bloke.
Yeah, and he traveled with the national team, the women's national team, when they had the World Cup here in Canada, and he was here with them. And interestingly, we're having the World Cup here in North America again, shared between Canada, U.S., and Mexico. And one of the stadiums that they're playing at is my home stadium in Vancouver. And I have tickets to go see an Australia game.
Did it cost you $22,000?
Almost.
Yeah.
Lucky we're paying you so much to do the live stream, Larry.
Can we slam? Are we allowed to slam? Can we start slamming FIFA on here? Or no, we'll probably keep it apolitical.
Yeah, apolitical.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of Mexico, Larry, and you just mentioned, our next athlete is Noe Duran from Mexico. So Noe's finished Australia before, came here a couple of years back, has completed some of the races, I can't think, but he has done Ultraman before he came to Australia. This is his second crack. He's supported by local Elena, who helped him last time, and also alumni Jen McMillan. So again, lots of experience. Noe is just a grinder. He will get through that race, no worries. He just gets out and gets it done without any sort of drama.
And it's always good to have a Spanish speaker there as a useful translator. And he's coming back. He says he's coming back because he just loved the event in 2024. So I just want to come back and do it again.
Awesome. All right, we got another returnee.
Yes, so Anthony Elder coming to have a go. Anthony came along, finished 11th place last year, but wants to come and have another go. He's blaming me for this. He's saying I told him he should come back, but I think he just wanted to come back. He's great guy. He's put in a lot of hard work and has got Kate Bevilacqua as his coach. So a lot of experience in his corner with that. Kate obviously has a long association with the race. Just amazing. Another person that's bringing their wife as crew chief, who's an amazing athlete in her own right. She's a hybrid rock star athlete at High Rocks, competed just recently in the elite category and did amazingly well. And I just think it's amazing. We all know how much time this takes and how much support you need from those around you, but those two have supported each other to kick really big goals at the same time. And just showing how amazing it can be when you find that person and you support each other through it. So looking forward to catching up with Anthony and Nat as well in Noosa.
Yeah, Big Tone, I think, is what I got told to call him last year. So from his crew, so he's coming back, and then he's obviously got Alana Sharman as well as her crew, who's another alum as well. So So he knows what to do. He's got Kate Bevilacqua, as you said, Jeff, world champion, won here at UMOs as well. And just in December last year, actually retired from her professional career after 20 years or something, 25 years of racing as a pro. So obviously got the experience behind his racing and understanding, and he's ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. And I have the personal connection with Kate in that I did a teacher exchange with her right before she started that professional career. So her and I traded homes. I lived in Perth, WA for a year, and she was living in this house right here, the global headquarters. And so we always have that connection. And that was before either one of us knew anything about Ultraman, oddly enough.
I did listen to that podcast a little while ago, and it was amazing that you had that connection before it all happened. So that's very cool.
All right.
Righto. So our next athlete, coming from Brazil, but via WA where he now lives. So he's in Western Australia. So opposite side of the country to where we are here in Noosa. So Guy Escaleira finished Australia in 2019. He's been sniffing around for a little bit, but his 40th birthday present to himself is taking on Australia, and he's bringing someone extra with him this year that didn't have a 19, which is his son. So again, lots of family going around. I'll let Tim introduce all his crew because there's a lot of Brazilian heritage, and I'm looking forward to Tim stumble over all their names.
Well, he definitely. This is what when Guy did it, I was bored with calling him Guy, so I was all about Guilherme Escaleira de Luz Oliveira every time he came across the finish line. So that's what I plan to do this time as well. Just butcher his name for the best part of 4 to 5 days.
And I apologize to the people watching on YouTube. On his little placard, the name is not showing up right now. I'm not sure what the error is on that. I'll have it fixed for the live stream. I think it was too long.
You probably couldn't fit it in.
Yeah, I think it was too long.
Yeah, you probably couldn't fit it in. It's the ridiculous number of letters.
I'm doffing you pay for that, Larry.
Yeah. Well, this is the test.
No. So,
this is the test.
Yeah. So
he's a very long name.
He's a chef at one stage. I actually was over in WA and caught up with him, and he cooked me a meal. He's just again one of the good guys. He was voted. I think he was something like voted top 10 head chef in Western Australia, like in a few years back, 2021. And I was lucky enough to eat some of his food. He's going to ride his bike he wants to ride his bike, or he's got plans to ride his bike in 2028. I think it's his 20th anniversary of being in Australia, and he wants to ride his bike across Australia. So from Perth to Sydney. But his crew, he's got his coach, Yao Carlos Neto, Ingrid Espinosa, Leticia Fernanda Paul, Francisco Paul Escaleira, and Rahul. And Mario, his mum and dad. Look at that on that. I'm basically fluent in Spanish, guys. So, hola.
It's Portuguese, just quietly, Tim.
Oh, well, not anymore. He's not there anymore.
I do love in.
I see. I've also got the wrong flag then, too. Let me just get this off the screen. Yeah. I think maybe I just didn't finish making his yet.
Is he representing Australia? Well, he's Australia and Brazil, so I think you can
Australia and Brazil.
Yeah.
I do love in the vein of Paul Giddings and his negotiating at home to get to do another Ultraman. Guy does say his wife once said, "God, please don't do another IM," and he's like, "Well, Ultraman's not Iron Man, so be careful what you wish for." So here he is giving it another crack.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump back across
Jeff,
the Tasman.
Just before we do that,
yes,
one of the things that Tim just mentioned is he wants to ride his bike from Perth to Sydney, and I did a athlete in profile of somebody who rode their bike from Perth to Sydney, who was supposed to be at your race this year, but I'm guessing has dropped out. What do we know about Matt?
Yes. So Matty O'Brien has definitely ridden from Perth to Sydney. That was one of his little challenges he did in a bit of a journey of rediscovery in the last year or two. But Matt got a new job. If you'd listened to Larry's pod, he works on rescue helicopters. He's received a promotion plus a transfer, so he is actually training to step up the crew level. And unfortunately, the only opportunity for him to do that, the training fell when Ultraman was on. He was never going to be able to do it. It was non-negotiable. So so Matty's pulled the pin. I'm sure he'll come back to fight another day, but he will be, if you get lost at sea, fall out of your boat 50 kilometres offshore, Matt may just hang off that cable and come down to pluck you from the ocean.
Yeah, it's an exciting job, and it was a great conversation I had with him. So people, please still go check out that past episode. There's lots of Australia affiliates there. I even did a post of all of the times that I had a Australia affiliated athlete on the podcast, and it's got to be like 15 or 16 different episodes now where people have been on. There is one person though that I've been trying to get on and just doesn't answer when I email or call. And this guy, he's like ran around the world and done things that would be really interesting to talk about on a podcast, but just never gets back to me about it. Tim?
I'm just not sure you could afford me, Larry.
You're probably right.
What's this fascination with riding across Australia? Try and run it.
Yeah.
Dear, oh dear. Right. Back on track. Heading across the Tasman back to New Zealand. Mehdi Gerbeaux. So he's a firefighter. So he joins our running for the Ultimate Award this year. There was a bit of a random Facebook post from me a couple of weeks back where someone spotted on Mehdi's Strava that he'd swum around one of the lakes in New Zealand, so traced the shoreline and done a 20-kilometre swim. So look, I'm not too worried about Mehdi making it out of the swim. And he's done Tarawera, so he's probably going to be pretty good on the run too, and not too shabby on the bike. So look, he's going to be a good one to watch. And if he's done some speed work in the ultra sense, he's another one that could be up at the pointy end.
He's finished IM New Zealand last year in 11:20, and he obviously is a good swimmer. He spent 3 years in the Navy, so hopefully he can handle himself in the water. But he just loves endurance, I think. So especially the running space. He's done, as you said, Jeff Tarawera. He's done the 50, he's done the 100, he's done Hawke's Bay Marathon, Fault Line 100, which I think was on this weekend, if I'm not mistaken, over in New Zealand. So, and then there's a reasonably new race down in Sydney called the Bondi to Manly, which is 80 kilometres along the shoreline of Sydney. So he's done that as well, and he's done a lot of swimming. So if he can ride a bike, as Jeff said, he'll be there and thereabouts.
And another one that's bringing his wife along as team captain. So we need to do a check-in on everyone on Tuesday to see who's there. Yeah. Okay, back to India for Jomy Jacob. He'll be racing with number 420. We've moved to everyone keeping their numbers now. So 420 for life for Jomy for Australia. So he's going to come with a couple of Ironmans behind him. So raced in Malaysia. So if we have some heat in Noosa, he'll be ready to go, because Malaysia in November is not pleasant. So he'll be able to deal with the heat. And he's raced Copenhagen, so if it's cold, he's covered. So, he's got both bases covered for the weather that we might experience in Noosa.
And he's run one of the great races on the planet, the Comrades Marathon or Ultra Marathon in South Africa. So he did that a few years ago. He's done some other ultra marathons, 100Ks, and then, as Jeff said, a couple of Ironmans in the bank as well, and a lot of endurance cycling as well, behind him. And really importantly, he's a member of the Central Board of Customs and Indirect Taxes of India. So no doubt that the Indian community has funded the trip, but we'll keep that just to ourselves.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, I heard from a little birdie on that side that the weather forecast is perhaps a little bit wet coming up. What are we thinking for the race days?
Look, as we sit, we're almost 2 weeks away, so you do start to get some forward forecast. But I've got to tell you, in the last 24 hours, it has changed from definitely rain to maybe showers. So okay. We have had, I think, 4 years running of average weather in Noosa.
Not a 2021 repeat?
The 2022 is the one you're thinking of, where we, it was an 84-kilometre row. We went multi-sport that year. So no, the weather's is a little bit questionable, but certainly nothing like I think what we've had the past 4 years. So yeah, looking forward to some better weather and some more sunshine, coast sunshine, which has been lacking for a couple of years. But again, it literally in the last 48 hours, the forecast actually got better than what it was when we first were 2 weeks out. So let's see how we go. I can't control that, so I don't worry about it too much. And,
it is called Ultra. Yeah. You got to deal with everything.
That's it. Yep, that's 100%. So, yeah. Next athlete is Shubham Kajale. So, Shubham's coming back. He's athlete 152. So, given we're in the 400s now, obviously means that he raced right back in 2018. Okay, so, look, he's going to come back and give it another crack. He now does a bit of talking. He's got done some TEDx stuff. So, guy with a cool story. I think he's probably the only jeweler that we've had race the event. If anyone's looking at popping the big question, maybe talk to Shubham about designing them a ring.
And he's your youngest finisher ever.
2018.
In Australia.
Yeah, and someone might be popping the question of Jeff L. Well, there might be a requirement for some apology gifts come Tuesday after how many family members and wives and partners and husbands we have in the crew. So jewelry might be the number one go-to, but a strong swimmer and reasonable on the bike as well, and then he'll push through the run. So, yeah, and great to have another returning, especially from 2018. That is the longest gap. That's the earliest race number we have this year by quite some margin, race number 152. As you say, it's everyone's race number is unique. So no one else will ever have that race number that you've had. So, 152 is that's our fourth year of the event. So he's coming back for the 12th. I'm not sure if we include COVID or not.
11th. You couldn't get your shoes off quick enough to count past 10, Timmy.
We did the 10th anniversary special last year.
Yeah, come on, Tim. Remember?
No. Okay, as if I can remember that far back.
Hey, Tim, when he finishes, you should also point out that he is celebrating 6 months of marriage with his crew chief. I'm sure she will appreciate that.
Potentially celebrating. You're ever the optimist, Larry.
Yes, I remember.
I will.
Yeah,
he was a bit late entering because of that wedding. I remember now. So yeah.
And not only is his wife his crew chief, he also lists her as coach.
Ooh.
Yeah, this worries me greatly. I will absolutely mention that. Don't think that will go unnoticed across the weekend.
All right. Well, we got another one of the females coming up next.
Another one of the females. So Claire Kunk. Tim, you can confirm how we say that when we have our interviews on Thursday. But Claire's coming to us fresh off Ironman World Championship. So raced Kona last year. 13 hours 15 is pretty impressive on the Big Island. It's not easy racing over there. So yeah, so another one that's doing it for her kids and showing that you can balance family life and ultra racing, which we know is hard for everyone. So, yeah, look, just a hard worker. We posted her video just recently, and her kids feature in the video, which is great. Again, we know how many people go to putting this thing together. It's not just the athletes that are putting the time in. There's people taking up the slack at home. And, you know, Claire's mentioned that a hubby takes on the morning shifts, you know, looking after the kids, and it shows all our kids and our family that teamwork makes the dream work on both sides of the fence for this race and in life. So, yeah, it's good.
And she's coming back from a pretty significant surgery in 2023, launched back into some endurance racing, completed the Sydney Marathon in September of 2024, and then has gone on to the 70.3 in Melbourne. She finished Ironman Cairns in the June of 25. And as you said, Jeffo, she went on to race at the World Champs in Kona the same year. So she's had a big 3 years. She's run 9 marathons in that time, you know, 70.3s, 2 70.3s and 2 Ironmans. So she's got the Ks in the legs to keep pushing.
And she has some experienced crew as well. She has Kathleen Swalling crewing for her, who crewed for Stuart King last year. So got the experience in the crew vehicle. That's always a big bonus.
Yeah, and I think from memory, Kath was recruited to paddle for Stu, and then didn't want to go home. Just stayed with him for the next few days, helping out from memory. So, yeah. Loved it, and yeah, always good to have someone around that's got the bit of experience to settle you down.
And
if you meet Stu, you can understand why she stuck around. He's a ripper.
He is.
And can you make sure you have a box of Kleenex around when she finishes? Because she says that her dad has been known to cry watching her do a sprint.
A sprint, mate. Definitely get that on the broadcast. We need some emotion on the broadcast, Larry. So we'll definitely get some cameras in poor old Dad's face as he's shedding tears of pride for his daughter crushing it at Australia.
Yeah. Well, speaking of cameras and people's faces, I would like to remind you that you're on camera, Tim, and if you can just keep yourself a little bit centered instead of slouching back, that would be helpful for everybody watching on YouTube.
Sorry, I'm just trying to keep myself in the light. I'm losing light here rapidly.
That head does need good lighting, that's for sure.
Yeah, it needs everything.
It's all the help it can get. Right, moving right along. Brittany Litton. Okay, look, if you're on socials, you know Brittany as the White Monster Queen. I think her and Erica Riley are running a challenge to see who can actually consume the most white monsters in preparation for Australia. It's been fun to watch some of that stuff and the banter going on, and again building this community, across the Tasman, around the world. So Brittany is a pointy athlete. She's pretty quick. She has probably, including present company, the best coach out there for this. Simon Cochran is her coach, so it doesn't come much better than that. Look, Brittany's been putting in a lot of hard work, a lot of sessions that we've seen on the socials, and I'm sure a lot of harder ones going on behind the scenes as well. It does have the runs on the board with a lot of Ironman racing. I think I had a quick look at some of her times. What do we say? Kona 10:49 at Kona. So again, you go 10:49 at Kona. You're a pretty serious athlete because it's not easy over there. So yeah.
And she was one of the ones that I did an athlete and profile on as well. So that's back in episode 7, and she actually made a pretty bold call in that episode. So go back and listen to that if you want to know more about what Brittany's up to on her goals for this race.
We're just lucky there's no fishing boats based out of Noosa, so we know she'll be there for the whole weekend and won't take off again.
Go
jump on the
scallop
podcast
fishing.
and have a listen. It's good value, that podcast, that's for sure.
I will be interested to see if she brings Ron with her, because she seems to, all of her social media has her cat in it. So I don't know if she's
think
getting
there's
away.
A cat cage. There's not a travel cat cage big enough to fit Ron in. I think, Ron's a big ginger cat, and he's got some personality to match with him.
Yeah. And she's going to have her mother there. So she's obviously going to do the Mother's Day thing. But her mother also has a birthday on the 9th of May. Heads up on that one.
No, so her mum's not going to be here. She's going to her place to look after Ron and the kids.
Oh, okay. Well, then we have to do the shout out on the live stream for her.
Yeah. We'll have to do the shout out on the live stream.
Yeah.
I think she's bringing half of New Zealand over.
Well, she needs to. She's bringing her husband Ari, but Ari's actually just going to chat cars with me for the week because he loves doing up cars. And so we're already booked in to catch up at the pub next Tuesday. And I'm pretty sure I can talk Ari out of being her crew chief. I think he's got better things he could be doing for that week, to be honest, talking to me about cars.
Well, I don't think he was going to be crew chief. I think he was just going to be driver. I don't think he was going to be allowed to do anything but drive.
Okay. Rightio. Cool. Well, staying in New Zealand and staying with the girls, we have Anna Longdill, who's coming here to give it a crack. So Anna's from Rotorua, up the north end of New Zealand. Just looking to give it a crack. Along with Brittany, who we just spoke about, Anna is taking on New Zealand as well. So, this is their race. No doubt they're going to give it a good crack here in Australia, but they're going to learn a lot and take that to their event in Wanaka in December. So, again, done a lot of IM racing, coast to coast, which is just a brutal race. Distances, conditions, all those things is just amazing. And done a lot of ultra marathons. So probably looking forward to Wednesday and knocking out the 84 kilometres. When you've done 300 milers and 10 100K runs already, probably 84 on tired legs is something that you can manage.
Well, I hope she does it on the Monday as well, because that's the actual race, not the Wednesday. But she has the experience as well, and she's within minutes. She's within minutes of Britt in terms of her most recent races. I mean, she went 10:40 at New Zealand last year, and then again this year. So she's got good speed in those legs. So this could be a really good hard race between the two Kiwis. And she's a lawyer, so same as me. So she's obviously very intelligent. And she rode for Oxford, which is pretty cool as well. So plenty of stories, and obviously big motor. So I'm looking forward to see Anna going around that. I wonder what her expectations are, as opposed to what her weekend is going to look like.
Let's go on to the lone American in the field.
Yes, so staying with the girls, you got Kerry Mandel, who's coming across. So she's found that finish line 3 times, having been Florida, Arizona, and World Championships in Hawaii in the Ultraman races. So, excited to have Kerry across here. Actually caught up with her. She only arrived a couple of days ago, and I happened to be down the coast, so got to say hello to her. And I think she's coaching Shane Duffy this week for his week of training to lead into Ultraman. Awesome person. We've chatted. We've had some WhatsApps over the last 6 to 12 months. She definitely has been looking forward to this and coming out and sharing her time with Ohana. Obviously, Shane's core to that for her, but she knows that there's so many good people around this. She's looking forward to meeting people, having a bit of a holiday. She's here for 3 weeks. Hubby comes out to crew for her in the race, but she's having a little bit of time here, just getting to know the course and enjoying a bit of Australia. She's keen for that, and her mum's going to come out. So her mum, I want to say 81, 82 years old, I think. So wants to come to Australia, see Australia, and see Kerry take on So that's really awesome for her. So yeah, looking forward to having Kerry go around in Noosa.
Yeah, and she's got an abundance of experience in endurance racing, not only Ultraman Arizona, Ultraman Florida, but the multiple 70.3s, Ironmans, and also she became one of only 42 women at the time to complete the World Marathon Challenge. So to complete the 6 world major marathons in 2020. So she and she's done Boston to Big Sur Challenge, 28 marathons, so ultra marathons, milers, 100 milers, you name it, she's done it. She's even run across Virginia, which is something like a 350-mile run. So come Monday, she might find herself at home.
Yeah, and
look, she's also running around the world.
Yeah,
Timmy.
she did the World Marathon Challenge, which is the 7 marathons, 7 continents, 7 days.
Don't know what took you so long, Tim.
That's not running around the world. That's flying around the world.
But she ran, Tim, everywhere. She ran everywhere. She ran more continents than you did, just quietly.
Yeah, she did. I'm pretty sure.
And she's actually going to knock off the last one. She's heading to
athlete number 369.
Hold on,
she's running the North Pole. She's running the North Pole next year too. So just to round it all out.
And she is a former guest of the podcast in season 6 on episode 10. Her and a former crew member and Ultraman finisher himself, of Shane Duffy. We're on that episode. So there's a whole big Shane Duffy connection here, and 100% the only reason she's in Australia is because of the connection that they made when they met in Arizona, which is the same place I met Shane Duffy when he I was having him on as an athlete in profile, and he didn't have a full crew yet. So I went down the crew for him. That's just how it works.
That's awesome. I love the stories that come out of this. So, yeah. Moving right along before Timmy gets too embarrassed about how slow he ran around the world, we've got another returning athlete. So, Nesta Rivera, athlete number 369. So, he's representing Colombia. He does live in Melbourne these days. So, he took on the race back in 2024. So, he knows how to get to that finish line. He's just wanting to continue to challenge himself in his triathlon career. So, looking forward to having Nesta here. He'll have a big team, probably a loud team around the race. So, it'll be good fun to have Nesta out on course once again.
Yeah, just like many of our other athletes, he's got significant endurance pedigree, number of marathons around the world, and some fast times too. A half marathon PB of 79 minutes, and then a marathon PB of 2:59. He's crewed here multiple times as well. Obviously raced and finished here in 24. So he'll know exactly what to do come Saturday morning. That is for sure.
And his crew chief Vanessa, his wife, they're having their 10th anniversary during Ultraman. And another support crew for him, Jennifer, is having a birthday on May the 8th. So they'll be celebrating lots of things over the weekend while they're there.
It's all happening.
Yeah. And
plenty of great birthdays happening across the week, Larry. Plenty of great birthdays happening across the week.
Oh, yes. Yours happens that time of year too, doesn't it?
Don't encourage me. That's not race week. It's well before race week.
Wow. Oh, well, then you don't need me to turn up for it.
Rightio, off to Malaysia to introduce our next athlete. So Ann Powell, you'll also see her in some spots, Chia Ling, her Malaysian name, but she goes by Ann, has a good social media presence, so you can see lots of the things that she does. Interesting athlete, obviously takes her training very seriously, but also has some fun with it as well. Another athlete that is going to be at the pointy end of that women's field. It is going to be really interesting, 10:28. at the Ironman distance. So that is fast. So yeah, all the Kiwi girls, the Aussie girls, if we know they put the time in, if they can pull it together, add nutrition, add the crew help in for 3 days, might be a very interesting tracker to watch on run day 3 with all the math going on. How far someone got to go on this day to make up a deficit or whatever. So going to be really interesting. But Anne's going to be right there. So she's only 30 years old. So quite young by ultra standards, but definitely has a lot of runs on the board as far as athletic pursuits go. Okay, so our next athlete is a returning athlete and an international athlete also. So Mahesh from India. He had a tough time out here last year in 2025. Was a DNF, unfortunately, for the event, but isn't going to let that beat him. So he is going to come along and race again. He's got Dwayne Parnell, who's going to crew for him, who helped him out a little bit last year. Dwayne is the partner of Jen McMillan, who they're looking after separate athletes. We spoke about Jen earlier, looking after Noe from Mexico. So Mahesh has got Dwayne in his corner. So Dwayne's got lots of experience around the Australia course. So yeah, he's coming back to redeem himself, and hopefully we get to see Mahesh there on Main Beach on Monday.
Yeah, he's like as you say, Jeff, he didn't have the weekend he wanted last time. Battled through day 1, but just put himself in a bit of a hole and didn't start day 2. But he's a multiple time Ironman finisher, something like 10-time Ironman finisher. He's done 5 half Ironman. He's run ultra marathons. The thing that and then a lot of ultra cycling as well. But the thing I love about him is that he's a man of his community. He's won a lot of multiple community awards for giving back through social activities, through his local community. So, and he's just a really lovely gentleman as well. So it'll be great to have Mahesh back this year.
Cool. So returning athlete again, next athlete off the rank is Erica Riley. So Erica's one of Tim's athletes. Tim will have lots to say here because Eric is one of his athletes. So Eric is heading for her 3rd UM finish. So previously took on the course in 2021, 2023. Eric has learned a lot over those last couple of times, educated herself. She's become a triathlon coach in the meantime. So is putting a lot of that study that she's done into action along with the support of Tim as her coach. Look, she had a bit of a tough time out in 2023 for a few various reasons, but in 2026, she's in the best shape she's ever been. All her training and times and everything is pointing towards her laying down a pretty big PB in 2026. So Erica has done it all as far as goes. She's been here as crew captain. She's been on the dream team. She's been an athlete twice before. Been around Australia as much as anyone. And we know we'll be cheering pretty hard for her. Again, having been on the dream team, those people that have helped us out behind the scenes that then come back and hit the track, get that few more extra cheers from us. And yeah, we're looking forward to Erica really nailing the race, being big on the prep, and we'll lay down a good PB, I think, over the 3 days in Noosa.
Yeah, she's definitely put the work in, that's for sure. I'm just looking at her athlete profile, and she's written, Tim Franklin is currently coaching me, but he's a wanker. So that's the sort of sense I've got from my athletes, which means I'm doing my job properly.
Tim,
I think I may have added that.
I added that.
Right.
I added that.
Well,
her sentence ended at currently coaching me.
Oh, right. I'm surprised it did. I didn't even blink. At that. She would have written that, to be honest. But yeah, I've pushed her. She has some goals that she wants to achieve, and I've pushed her to them. But she definitely is in some really good shape And she's got some great crew as well. She's got her crew chief is a very good friend of hers, experienced athlete as well in Haley, and then Andrew Trouty, who has been in and around Australia as well as the 355 events. We first met Trouty, so she's got a lot of experience there. She's got a lot of experience. She's just got to be smart over 3 days, and she will, as Jeff said, be looking to lay down, hopefully, a serious personal best.
Mm-hmm. And she was another of my athletes in profile for this year. She was season 8, episode 2. And the only thing I have to say to Erica at this point is, can you let your people that are filming for the live stream turn their camera horizontal? I know you want the vertical, but can you let them turn it horizontal for YouTube, please?
Good luck, Larry.
Atticus, just to mention, Erica is coaching Tab Draper, who's taking it on. So, she's in this getting herself through with Tim's help, but she's also coaching Tab. So, that chain continues, and that's a big thing to be managing at that time when you're looking at taking on the event yourself. So I think that's awesome. Staying in Australia, Nathan Schmidt, who'll race under number 425, another relatively young guy, 28. So he's done a lot of shorter distance racing, has done a couple of Ironmans, and gone as quick as 10:53. So was looking for that next challenge, as most people are.
Yeah, and he's a local southeast Queensland. He's from Brisbane, which is my hometown. And the cool thing he did, he raised some money in 2025 through April. He did 30 triathlons in 30 days, but he did 29. I think he did 29 Olympic distance, and then on the 30th day actually did an iron distance. So again, his ability to back it up is there, and then Ironman Cairns officially to sort of qualify for Australia in 11:51 in Cairns in 2024. So again, plenty of experience, ridden his bike a lot, runs a lot, did the Gold Coast Marathon double, where they do the half marathon on the Saturday and then run the marathon on the Sunday. So he's done that. So he'll be no doubt primed and ready to go come the Saturday morning.
No problem going day after day after day for him.
No problem.
All right, let's move on.
That's it. And not moving too far geographically, we move on to Patrick Shanahan, who also lives down on the Sunshine Coast, so lives very close to the course. A lot of experience through 70.3 and Ironman, a lot of marathons. He's another one that's coming from a Defence Force background. So tough cookie, and wants to take on got a good crew behind him, a lot of mates from the service. Blokes that he's gone into battle with, so know how to get him through those tough situations.
And another guy that can back up day after day. There's a run across an event across Australia for charity, for the Bravehearts charity, which is called 777. So you do 7 marathons in 7 states across Australia in 7 days. So you basically run, then jump on a plane and go to a different state. And he's done that. So he knows what that backing up feels like, especially on at the end of the week. And then he's also done Ironman Australia, Ironman Switzerland, Austria, and New Zealand. So he knows what endurance is, and he'll be there pushing himself as well. I mean, he's been doing endurance sports for 17 years now.
Moving on to Marcus Smith. So Marcus will sound familiar to people. He is coming back after a DNF last year. Look, by his own admission, he didn't manage himself properly, probably nutrition-wise, over the first couple of days, and had a bit of a failure on day 3. So he's coming back to chase some demons away. Again, by his own admission, he thinks he underestimated the race a little bit. Someone who's done 36 Ironmans, including getting to Kona 8 times, obviously has some pretty amazing athletic pedigree. But as we all know, UM's a bit of a different beast. So I kind of checked in with Marcus shortly after last year, and he was hurting a bit about that failure. And then we chatted more in coming months, and eventually he decided he needed to come back to give it a crack. So he's had a bit of a bike stack, so he's put a few hurdles in front of himself. But look, he's ready to rock and roll. Timmy can probably talk about his training because he's under Tim's tutelage as well.
He is, and he's arguably the busiest person on the planet, Marcus. He runs his own business. He's a full-time physiotherapist, but runs the business as well, doing multiple other physiotherapy, where it's aquatherapy or whatever. He's always at work, and then he has some side hustles as well. So finding the time for Marcus to train has been a challenge, but he's a serious athlete. I mean, as Jeff said, you don't do 36, 37 Ironman, an 8 times Hawaii competitor without knowing what you're doing. Didn't get last year right, but has told me that he's in far better nick this year than he was last year. So we will see. We've spoken about the nutrition side of things. So it's time for him to rock and roll and claim that redemption.
Yeah, it's always great when someone does come back and get that redemption story. I mean, it's not great that they need to, but it's great that they have that fortitude to come back and take it on again and take what they learned, especially if he didn't quite give it the respect that it needed. Because, yeah, there are people that will not respect the distance the first time they do it.
Yeah, and the other thing, it's just underestimating, isn't it? You go, well, I've done Ironman, I've just got to back up, and it's big. So no, I'm excited to see Marcus back, and I want to hang that medal around his neck on Monday that I didn't get to do last year. So yeah.
Well, Tim, I know that you have to jump out. I want to thank you for helping out with doing the preview show. We still have a few more athletes to go, but you got to jump out. We'll be talking to you again over the live stream and probably in a meeting or two before that. Thanks again for joining us from your work site in Colorado.
No worries, Larry, and thanks, Jeff. And I'm super pumped to meet all the athletes this year, welcome them across that finish line on day 3, but all the family, all the crews and everything. It's a hell of a ride the whole week. So and then we get to celebrate all together on the Tuesday. So looking forward to it, and no doubt you guys will sing a fair bit of me across the 36 hours of live stream with Larry.
All right, thanks again.
Okay, so we're heading back to India for our next athlete. So Puneet Sood is coming to have his first crack at Australia. So again, wants to see what he's capable of, being down the Ironman road, and now wants to go that bit further. So he's bringing his coach with him to be his team captain, which is, always good, that person that's monitored you through all your training being there on the day. So, yeah, really awesome. And he's friends with a couple of people in India that are taking on New Zealand. So we know they're going to be tuning into the live stream to pick up some tips and see how Ultraman flows across the 3 days so that they're ready to take on New Zealand at the end of the year. Righto, back to an Australian athlete. So Giancarlos Taraborelli, he's tried to get to Australia at least one time previously, but has not quite been able to get there. So he took on Ironman WA the last couple of years, putting down times just over 11 hours.
Very consistently, yes.
Yeah, well, 11:01, 11:03, 11:12. So that's pretty consistent over the same course. So so hopefully Giancarlos can hold it together injury-wise and get there to that start line. He's a local. He lives on course of Pomona. I think we pretty much ride past his doorstep. So and another one that's got crew support from his family members. So partners and sisters and things that are coming along to do that for him. So looking forward to him getting to that start line for the first time when he's been aiming for it for a couple of years, let's say. So it'll be good to have him there and pull on the number.
Yeah, and I see he's done 20 kilometers for an open water swim twice. So no fear of him getting out of the water.
No, that's it. So we'll. I haven't looked at the pace on those. I didn't go quite into the records, but we'll see whether he can challenge Boris for coming out of the swim first. Definitely going to make the distance, but see how his pace goes.
All right.
And from a strong swimmer to someone who's admitted that she's a little bit on the weaker side. So another international. So Chloe, that's coming to us. She's representing the UK, but currently lives in Hong Kong. Only learnt to swim a few years ago. So was encouraged by her children to learn how to swim. And, then it just grows. All of a sudden she's doing triathlon, doing 70.3s, doing Ironman. So, Kona, 13:04 in Kona. It's a tough course. That's there. If you can go 13:04 in Kona, you've got a bit of strength and a bit of vim about you. So really, really interested to see how Chloe goes. I know she is very nervous about the swim. I've linked her up with one of our really amazing young paddlers from the Sunshine Coast, the various surf clubs on the Sunshine Coast, the young cadets, nippers, we refer to them as here, they come and paddle for us. And I thought it was important, given Chloe being a bit not too confident in the swim. I'm confident she'll get through it, but she's a little bit nervous about it. So she's been able to link up with her paddler and have chats and things, and we'll have a good relationship with that young paddler before she gets to Australia, and then they've organised some practice swims. So that's great for Chloe. It is a tough way to start off the event, particularly if that swim's not your strong leg. So looking forward to Chloe coming out, and I know there'll be a big smile on that face when she makes it out of the swim. So let's be cheering for that, and being able to watch Chloe's tracker, which is again mentioning that again because it's going to be such a cool thing this year. So
And you providing the paddlers for a lot of the athletes is a big weight off their shoulders, because not everybody bringing a crew is going to bring somebody who's going to be comfortable with getting out over those waves and getting out into the ocean where you do your swim, right?
Yeah, and that's it. It is a mix, and we talk to people early on in the piece about how that works, because there is it's a different skill, I guess, to swim using a paddler for your sighting. So you do want to do some of your swims with a paddler, but when you hit the race at Noosa, there's a few things there. Yes, there's always some sort of waves, but they can be decent waves, which that's fine when you're swimming. But if you're trying to paddle a kayak out through breaking waves, that's actually a pretty well honed skill that lifesavers have, that person that's been paddling with you in flat water may not have. Exactly. So we still have some people that do say, no, we're fine. The person that's coming with me is comfortable with that. But generally about 2/3 to 3/4 of the field say, no, can you find us a paddler? So we collect those young people up, generally young people from around the surf club that come along. They get out there on their paddle boards, they feed them the nutrition, they keep them on track, and lots of times year on year, if athletes do return, they link up with that paddler again. I know Anthony Elder is using the paddler that he used last year,
right?
So because it's such an important bond to have and be comfortable in that swim and start off the 3 days right. So yeah.
Yeah, that's excellent. It's excellent that you're able to provide that, and that the young people in the community are willing to volunteer their time for that.
Oh, and they just love it. I know that before, we've been organising this for about a month now, but Joe, who is from the surf club at Noosa, contacted me about a month ago to say, I've already got 3 kids that are hassling me saying, when do we find out who our athlete is? So they hang out, they know what's coming. When their surf club season comes to an end and the Australian surf titles are on, they know then we're a bit after that. So as soon as the Aussies had finished, the messages started coming into Joe saying, is Ultraman on this year? Can I come and paddle for someone? They actually do love it. So it's exciting. It's a nice point of difference for the race. It's something quite different, our swim, to all the other events in the world, I think, in the conditions that we face. And that'll be different for us as a team when we go to New Zealand. We're not going to have paddlers in New Zealand. We're just having a water safety team because it's 2 kilometre laps. We're just letting the water safety team look after that. So the athletes will be on their own and just being able to grab nutrition each 2 kilometres. So again, different for us as a team running the event. But for Noosa, the paddlers are just part of the landscape, and the photos that we get, that all the athletes get from our photographer out there on course. Some of the best photos are those young paddlers out there, some of them 4 or 5 hours, and they're with those athletes, and they've just been such an important part. And I love the imagery of those paddlers with the athletes out there. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. And I was talking to Nick Millett recently. He was at those Surf Lifesaver competitions. He said that's like the 3rd biggest competition, that there's so many people there. It's like after the Commonwealth Games and the Olympics, it's like this is like your biggest competition.
Yep, it's huge. The Aussie surf titles are just massive. So yeah, that it's just so many different events that take place. You think it's surf lifesaving, but there's kayaks, there's paddle boards, there's the surf boats, there's IRB stuff, there's jet ski stuff, and then there's beach running and swimming, and it's that's the Australian culture. We have all those people that volunteer their time, but it's also their sport. It's a volunteer activity and a sport. So
and of course Nick would be hanging out there.
He would be living. He's down the Gold Coast at the moment, and you can't be at the Gold Coast without seeing the beach. So it's pretty big. You couldn't miss it down there, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we expect Nick will be joining us again on the live stream. He was a integral part of it last year, pulling off nearly the full 36 hours, I think, and getting out on the course for the run day. So he's not going to be on course this year, but he will be joining us at least a little bit.
Yep, and that will be great to have Nick along. He's a local to our race, but has done a lot of international racing, and obviously lots in Canada, being a champion over there. So it's always good to get Nick's point of view on things, and he loves being around it. But unfortunately, he's down the Gold Coast at the moment, and along with you've talked about, there will be some extra people that you'll reveal later, but Nick will be one of those people that gives us his thoughts and talks about what's happening on the course at Noosa that he knows so much about.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to our next one.
Next one, back across to New Zealand. So we've got a primary school teacher, Mark Thompson, who is going to be up at that pointy end. So 10:22 for the Ironman. So again, one of the fastest, if not the fastest time that we've got up there. Not the fastest, but close to. So we'll see how he goes. Going to bring his partner out as his crew chief, and he's got his coach on crew as well. So again, we talk so much about introducing these coaches and the teams, because it is, it's so important. The cliche I always use is, an athlete can get to that start line, but the team gets to the finish line. So it's so good, and he's looking to inspire his kids. So he's got four children out there, so that'll be keeping an eye on Dad. I'm not sure if they're coming to the race or they'll be watching from afar on the live stream. But he's going to be certainly up at that pointy end if he can pull it all together across the 3 days.
Yeah, and he has a 100-miler under his belt as well, with 19 and a half hours for that. So. No worries about how he's going to do getting to the finish line, I don't think.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty. If he can keep the body together, if he starts Monday, he'll definitely be there at that finish. You can be sure of that one. So yeah. Rightio, and we're going to head back across to India for Vishwanath Tiwari, who's a doctor. So he's a surgical doctor. So again, very high stress job, high responsibility job, but wants to influence people to use a healthy lifestyle as a way of preventing disease and sickness. So is a big advocate for that. Identifies that we have as a society headed down a little bit of the track of a sedentary lifestyle, and we don't expect everyone to get out and do Ultraman, but getting out and active is really important. So that's part of his ethos in life. So he tends to tick over and try and get an Ironman done each year for the past few years. Again, someone who I think is going to be out there to absolutely tick over and get to that finish line. And yeah, looking forward to having him out here. He's celebrating another one with a significant date. He's got his wedding anniversary on the 9th of May. So unfortunately, his wife's staying home to look after the family, but we'll be giving a shout out to his wife on the live stream there to as she supported him through the training and getting him to the race here in Noosa.
Absolutely. Yeah. We'll make a point of that one.
Okay. So staying overseas. So Marco, similar to Chloe, living in Hong Kong currently, but is representing Germany. So done a lot of Ironman racing, okay, as recently as 2024, and a pretty stout marathon PB of 2:46. Anytime we go under 3 hours at a marathon, that's pretty good. So yeah, he loves cooking but not washing up. I think that's all of us pretty much. So yeah. And he's got a local crew helping out. So Zohar, who supported Visesh last year, has come back. Zohar was someone that just found us through the website, through hearing about the race, and contacted me prior to the race last year, and said, I want to come and be part of this thing. So he crewed for Visesh, so he knows the course, knows what it's about, and put his hand up again, said, I'm happy to help someone again this year. So he's coming up from Brisbane to help Marco. So Marco's got some experience there. And one of his friends from Hong Kong that's coming out that trains with him, that's aiming to get to their first Ironman soon. So, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be some good inspiration then.
Yep.
All right. It. Well, let's look at our last athlete of the day.
Last athlete with a great story to tell. So Denise came and took on Australia in 2022. It didn't get there. So yeah, she's coming back to try and sort it out. So part of her strategy to make it happen in 2026 is to bring along a former champion as team captain. So we're going to see Melinda Cockshut out there, which is awesome. Mel's a great person. It was great when she raced here in 2024, was surprised herself with her own performance and with the win. But Mel's someone that has heaps of experience in athletic pursuits. We talked about surf lifesaving before. She's big in the surf lifesaving world, but a really down-to-earth person, and I'm sure will have helped Denise a lot in her training and preparation for So yeah, really looking forward to see Denise and yeah, hoping that with all her training and her prep and all the cheering from us all out there, that she can get across the line this year. So yeah.
Yeah, and it looks like from her times the previous time in 2022, she was a little on the longer side in the swim, but that's one of the things that Mel was really strong at. So hopefully she's given her some tips to bring that time down a little bit for her.
Yeah, that's it. I think you're always at risk if you have that really long swim time. You're suddenly having to push more on the bike day one to make that cut off, and it can hurt you, getting into day two or during day two when you've not been able to get the nutrition you want, or you've had to push too hard on that bike and you've not sort of left enough there to work your way through day two. But yeah, Denise had a few years to think about that, and again, we'll have spent a lot of time with Mel talking about that. She knows what it's about, so yeah, I think she'll get a lot deeper into the race this year, and hope to get to see her on Main Beach there on the Monday.
Yeah, it is a different race for people that aren't strong swimmers, because the 10-kilometer swim, if it's taking you 5 or closer to 6 hours, you have to plan nutritionally way different than someone who's going to be in there 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah, and that's it. It's just, I always say to people, it's try laying on your stomach for 5 hours and then jumping up and riding 145 kilometres. Like, regardless of what you've done in that 5 hours, it's not. Yeah, I know. I'm no physio, but it can't be good for your body to be laying down for that long and then having to then push it on the bike. So, but I'm sure that she'll put down a better swim time, and we'll definitely have learned some lessons from 22. And again, with Mel's experience there, Mel's going to paddle for her. So, having a former champion there every stroke through that 10Ks will definitely, hopefully, kick off her 2026 campaign a bit better than her 2022 campaign went. So,
awesome. Yeah. And anybody coming back with experience is going to do better.
That's right. Yeah. So we'll all be out there cheering, and let's see how we go with Denise in 2026.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We got a lot of different stories we've gone through there. People returning, people looking for redemption, people looking for PBs, crew members becoming racers, racers becoming crew members. There's going to be so much to talk about over the 36 hours of racing when we do our live stream again. I can't wait to see what unfolds this year. Looks like the women's race is going to be the one to watch. There's like so many people there that might have a chance. What are your final thoughts on what's coming up?
Yeah, it's really interesting. We do have a mix. I love that we still have so many internationals come and support the race, and that you've got people that, and the people that we talked about that potentially will be at the front of the race. It's not necessarily their intention. I still think most people really want to come here and take on this challenge and complete it versus competing in it. But we all know what happens. If you're someone that's gone, 10 to 11 hours in an Ironman, you're not slow. You are a fair sort of athlete. So suddenly you go, okay, I swam 45 minutes slower than them, but I swam, I rode 15 minutes faster. What does that look like day 2? Suddenly the math starts ticking over. So, and it's great watching it. But with what you're doing, it certainly adds that little extra element to go, okay, who's going to be there? We know last year on day 3, Timmy Belstead had a lead that he needed to maintain. He needed to stay close to Kirsty Sheehan to take over the overall win. And, he came across the line second on day 3, but was close enough to Kirst that he took out that overall win. And again, those two people were out there racing themselves 100%. I know both of those people really well, and it wasn't for them about anything other than what could they do. But you can't ignore that extra challenge that comes with other people are out on course with you, and the times are there. So it's going to be interesting, that women's field, especially with some girls that are pretty quick, and then looking at the men's race again with the disciplines. It just changes so much when you have someone who's a really good swimmer versus a really strong biker versus a really strong runner. That leaderboard does jump around a little bit. So just crossing fingers. I'd love to have some nice Noosa weather. Mentioned earlier on that we've not had amazing weather for the past few years, but would love some really nice weather for this one. And see everyone that starts the race get to the finish line is the goal.
And that's part of the great part of the live stream as well, is watching every finisher come in. Like last year, we had the finisher that finished just after, like seconds after the clock.
Steve.
We had the wedding proposal just after the finish on day 3. So we don't know what stories are going to unfold this year, but we know we will be covering them on the live stream. So people watching, please, hey, don't be afraid to subscribe to my live stream and through the YouTube channel, and hit the notify button on each of those live streams so that you can get the information when we're going live with each of those. So, and the socials, again, Facebook and Instagram does have an infographic of all the start times for your time zone. So check those out. Jeff, thank you once again for taking the time out to come and tell us about the athletes. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to how this one unfolds, and I know you and I will be talking over the next few days to get everything ready. But thanks for doing this special race preview for the podcast and the YouTube.
Yep, it's been great having me and Tim here talking to you, and again building that global presence that we have, and showing everyone what's possible.
All right, thanks a lot.
Hey, if you liked what you heard today, please tell a friend and be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We'd appreciate it if you'd rate and review the show while you're there. Drop the names of the people you think we should interview, and we'll get in touch with them and make that happen. Thank you for listening to 515, the Ultra Podcast, a production of 55 Enterprises. Now really, go subscribe now before you forget.